When the engine turns over too slowly and you've done a starter draw test and starter draw was excessive, you need to do a starting system voltage drop test to ensure that it's not a connection, a cable, the solenoid itself making the starter appear bad. Then you'd end up replacing a good starter with another good starter and have the same problem. So begin by ensuring that the battery connections are clean and tight. And then place your positive meter lead to the battery positive. Place the negative meter lead to the motor side of the solenoid. You have two terminals on there. One's a battery cable terminal. Put it on the other terminal. This is going to test the starter circuit power. Now crank the engine and watch the voltmeter. Voltage drop should not exceed 0.6 of a volt. If the voltage drop is higher than normal, move your meter's lead, the negative lead, to the other terminal on the starter. This is going to test the positive battery cable. Crank the engine and watch the voltmeter. If voltage drop is over 0.4 of a volt, that cable's failing. If voltage drop is too high, ensure that the cable connections are clean and tight. Remember, that's the first step we had to do. And then go ahead and replace the battery cable as necessary. If the cable isn't the cause of the high voltage drop, check the starter solenoid. Place the positive meter lead on the battery terminal and the negative meter lead on the motor side of the solenoid. You can see that we've done a close-up here, and you can see how close your connections are. Make sure they don't touch each other. This tests the solenoid's contacts. Crank the engine and watch the voltmeter. If the voltage drop exceeds 0.2 of a volt, replace the solenoid or the starter, depending on how your shop handles starter failures. Then you want to test the ground circuit. Place the meter's lead on the starter housing itself. Then place the negative voltmeter lead on the battery negative. This is going to test the ground circuit for the starter. Crank the engine and watch the voltmeter. If the voltage drop exceeds 0.4 of a volt, check the negative battery cable and the starter mounting bolts.